Section 1. You will hear a man telephoning to ask for information about swimming lessons. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6 on page 2. You will see that there is an example that has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
Hello, City Swim School.
Oh, hello. I wanted to ask about swimming lessons. That's in a class, not individual.
Right. Well, we do group lessons at various levels. To start off with, we have what we call the Water Babies class.
The first class is called Water Babies, so babies has been written in the space. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 6.
Hello, City Swim School.
Oh, hello. I wanted to ask about swimming lessons. That's in a class, not individual.
Right. Well, we do group lessons at various levels. To start off with, we have what we call the Water Babies class. That's for babies of 3 months and over.
Really? As young as that?
Yes, that's really the best time to start.
Right. Well, we do have a baby, so I'll make a note of that. What do they actually do in the lessons?
Well, the main aim is just to familiarise them with the water so they feel at ease there. They get the children to enjoy themselves. They have lots of toys and things they can use to play with in the water.
Right. And how much do the lessons cost?
They're held on Tuesday mornings, and each lesson costs £3.80. It's not really a course as such.
OK. Well, I'll talk to my wife about that. But I was actually ringing about lessons for me.
OK, so are you a beginner?
Not exactly, but I'm not very good.
Well, the beginners' classes are really for people who don't have any experience of swimming. They aim to teach you techniques for breathing in the water, and they get you to do things like put your head underwater and open your eyes.
OK, I can do that.
And by the end of the course, they aim to have you swimming 5 metres.
I think I can probably just about do that.
OK, so you'd be better in the intermediate class then. That's where you learn the main swimming strokes, front stroke, backstroke and so on.
What about diving?
Yes, they'd teach you how to do that. And you'd also do some underwater swimming.
Not with a tank or anything?
Oh no, not scuba, just ordinary underwater swimming. And in the intermediate course you also look at water safety, both in the pool and when swimming in other places.
OK. Well, that sounds the right level for me, I think. So how much does that cost?
£61 for a course. That's 10 lessons.
Can you tell me a bit more about the class? How many people would there be in it?
Well, the intermediate class is usually around 8 to 10. That's what we aim at, though occasionally it might go up to 12.
OK, that sounds quite a reasonable size, not too many. And the class is for adults, is it?
Yes.
OK. And just out of interest, is there an advanced class?
Yes, they focus on developing more efficient swimming techniques and on working on your speed. And they also prepare you for competitive swimming.
OK. No, I think I'd want to start with the intermediate one, really.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, You have some time to look at questions 7 to 10 on page 3. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
Now, is there anything special I need to know?
Well, the classes are on Tuesdays and the first lesson is on January the 13th. So you need to register before then. January the 8th is the latest, but it's filling up quickly, so I'd do it straight away. You can pick up a form here or get one off the internet. And classes are at 7:30 p.m.
Right. Then I just roll up with my swimming trunks. Do I have to bring my own towel?
That's right. We provide all participants with a swimming hat, though.
Oh, I don't usually wear one.
Well, we do insist on it, actually. It helps the instructor to identify you, apart from anything else. Oh, and don't forget you need a 20p coin for the locker.
Oh, okay. Right, well, I've been meaning to do this for ages. I really need to get some more exercise, and everyone says swimming is good for your health.
Yes, and a lot of people find it improves their confidence too. And of course it could save your life, or even someone else's.
That's right. Okay, well, thanks very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Section 2. You hear a talk by a counsellor from the University of New South Wales, who will introduce some useful facilities and services on the campus. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the University of New South Wales. The first thing I'd like to do at today's orientation session is get you all oriented. That means tell you the location of some useful facilities and services. So, first of all, take out the maps we gave you all as you came in the door. The map is the big yellow sheet of paper. As you can see on the map, north is at the top, south at the bottom, etc. Which way is north? Well, look through that window on my left, your right. See the rising sun? That would have to be east. So north must be directly behind me. Now, we're at the campus main gate. The recreational facilities are on my right hand, and its opposite is the student centre. No questions? Good. Pretty easy, right? Okay, did everyone eat breakfast at the student food service this morning? Was the food good? Yes, I am joking. I've eaten there too. So, after a meal like that, you must be eager to go to a doctor, right? Well, I have good news for you. The Student Health Centre is located about half a kilometre straight north of here. Look on your maps. You see the street on the east side of this building? Ned Kelly Avenue? Just follow that about 500 metres and the health centre will be on your left at the 3rd cross street. Now, I know you all just got here, so you must be wondering how to tell your folks you've arrived safely, how much you miss the dog, and how you already need more money. If you don't have an iPhone, you probably are wondering where to find a computer. Well, I have good news. If you go straight out of its door and walk down the garden street, you'll see the internet unit on your left side, just next to the gym. The hours are posted on the door and the computers are free, but you must bring your student ID card with you. Like I tell everyone, if you need help with anything, you can probably find right here in the Student Centre. Do you see the 4 buildings there between the Student Centre and the library? Those are the dormitories. The men's dorms are the 2 on the south, the women's the 2 on the north. Okay, I'm sorry to have to tell you, but the university has been doing a lot of repairs and remodelling and it's not all done yet. So there may be some small problems with your dorm rooms. Maybe the window doesn't open. Maybe an air conditioner is missing or does not work. If there are any problems, you can go to the complaint office, which is right beside the teaching building between the Parker Street and the Cramer Street. Just tell them your problem and they should have it fixed by the time you graduate in 4 years. I'm joking, but please be patient. There are a lot of little things they need to take care of. Tired of the school food? No? Give it a week. Or maybe you just need a place to get coffee in the wee hours of the night during one of those marathon study sessions. Either way, you definitely have to check out the little cafe just past the women's dormitories. They've got free Wi-Fi, so a lot of students saddle up with coffee and a bagel for hours on end to get work done.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
As for the dorm rooms, I have some bad news and some good news. The bad news is the rooms are small and you'll probably be sharing space with at least 3 other students. The good news is that each room has its own bathroom. What's good about sharing a bathroom with 3 strangers? Good question. Okay, call it bad news and worse news. Hey, maybe try this for good news. Each dorm has a kitchen. If you want to make snacks or meals, you can do it there. You can buy food containers at any campus convenience store, so you can store your food in the kitchen. But a word of warning, you should definitely write your name on your food containers. Sad to say, there are food thieves among your fellow students. Speaking of thieves, a word about security. I mean, this is Australia, and we do get drunken bush rangers wandering onto campus. Each of you will be given a key for your dorm room. Don't lose it. You have to pay for any replacement and fill out a bunch of papers too. Red tape, huh? Your key does not work for the front door of your dorm, however. To the right of each door, there's a keypad with numbers. When you move in, they will tell you the code you use to enter the door. Please do not tell the code to people who do not live in the dorm. Let's see. Have I forgotten anything? Oh yes, most of you are not rich, correct? So when your clothes get dirty, you can't just throw them away and buy new ones. That means you have to learn to do laundry. Or, men, that means you have to hurry up and get married. If you decide to wash those clothes and not get married, there are laundries in each dorm. Where? Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. The laundry for each dorm is in the basement. Some real good news this time if you're a student, it is free. You do have to buy your own soap, however. The laundry closes, by the by, at 11:30. And now that I've mentioned 11:30, please remember, the dorm doors are locked at 11:30 p.m. Your code will not work. If you want to get in, you'll have to call the night watchman. Don't worry, you can get that number at the dorm office. Yes, the dorm office and the complaint office are the same office. All right then. Before we continue, are there any questions?
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Part 3. You will hear two students called Shona and Peter discussing their internship options. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hi, Shona.
Hi, Peter. Have you made up your mind about which internship program to apply for?
Yes, pretty much.
I'm entirely at a loss. I mean, there are so many good ones. Can you give me some tips?
Sure.
What is your top priority when weighing up these programs?
Well, I guess I'd go for ones that can help me with the skill set I lack for my future career. I still need a lot of practical training in dealing with statistics. But keep in mind that you don't want to set your goal too grand, like drawing up a business plan. You might end up nowhere.
I see. So I want to learn how to organize ideas and present them.
Good. Now you've nailed step 1.
Now what?
You must also consider your strengths for a suitable internship program. Otherwise, you might get rejected or end up with one that you are incapable of doing.
But I have no idea what I'm good at.
Communicate with people around you or whom you've worked with. That's what I did. I thought I was a good team leader, but many people I've worked with for various projects mentioned something else. They admire that I could work around the clock to finish projects on time. And indeed, I'm more focused and perform better when I'm pushed for time.
Good point. So what do you plan to do next?
I'll visit the careers officer to help me with the school application form. You know, the one we have to submit before applying to companies.
But it is unnecessary to fill it in. It's only optional.
Really? I'm glad I heard from you. Then I'll ask the careers officer to look at my personal statement and give me some tips on polishing it up.
Don't you need help with your CV?
No, I'm good. I have already learned to write it in class.
That's good. So what kind of company did you choose?
I've decided to apply for an IT company.
Why is that?
Well, even though I've learned how the IT industry developed in the past from different lectures, I know nothing about its latest trends. I'm prepared to work in an IT company and fill in the information gap.
I see. What do you plan to do next term?
I think I'll stick to most of the optional modules I've chosen, but regarding the language sessions, I'm doing poorly in Japanese. I'd better drop it before wasting more time. I think I'll learn Spanish instead.
Oh, I learned Spanish for a year. I think you'll find it interesting. Before you hear the rest of the conversation, You have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30. Do you know what job opportunities these companies offer interns?
I've searched online and browsed some of the schemes. Do you know 𝗜𝗟𝗧𝗦?
Yes, I heard they offer internship positions dealing with customer interaction management, but I'm not quite sure what that means.
Well, the position offers the chance to become fully aware of customer value and keep in touch with customers to keep them highly engaged and satisfied. These include activities such as PR, communications, marketing, and customer service.
Sounds like loads of work to do. What about Gemini Technologies?
It's an IT consulting company. Although many employees say it's stressful working there, I want to apply for this one.
Why is that?
Actually, the company provides service to improve software architecture. But that's pretty demanding, as a team of software engineers has to provide detailed analysis and suggestions for required changes before the deadline. As an observer and participant of a particular project, an intern can learn how to work to a strict deadline.
That's not my area of expertise, but I'm sure you'll excel at this.
I certainly do hope so. Have you checked out Deloitte?
Of course, that's a renowned accounting firm, and thus its internships offer excellent learning experiences in this regard. You know, things like examining a company's financial statements, the income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. I want to give it a try, but I might get rejected, so I need a backup plan. Have you read anything about Kearney?
Yes, it is another consulting firm. It provides opportunities to reach out to other business partners and pay attention to networking.
Well, that sounds interesting.
I'm thinking about Vortex, but I haven't got anything useful from its website.
I worked there last summer. It's an international company with headquarters in Spain, so most of the managers here speak Spanish. Thanks to the internship experience, I became fluent in it.
Right, that's not for me.
That is the end of part 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers to part 3.
Section 4. You will hear part of a lecture about oxytocin and trust. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40. The development of trust is an essential social tool, allowing people to form productive and meaningful relationships, both at a professional and personal level. Trust is indispensable in friendship, love, families, and organizations, and plays a key role in economic exchange and politics. Much recent evidence indicates that trust contributes to economic, political, and social success. When we make contacts with strangers, such as doing business with a client who we meet for the first time, our trust in them can only rely on their kindness. So, from our own judgment or the comments from other people, we can have a rough idea if the stranger is trustworthy. Trust is important because it is the basis around which all human relationships evolve. Without trust, there can be no relationship. Trust can come naturally, or it can be manifested. If you find trust of this magnitude in life, then you are lucky. Also, you can always count on them to protect through all, if not most, of life's perils. Trust is important because if you don't trust someone, then they are not available. Believe it or not, reducing the chance of suffering from poverty is to understand trust, because when you trust other people, you can have more support and resources. However, our ability to trust others varies from individual to individual, just like different people's ability of recognizing a person's face is not the same. Bonds of trust are also extremely fragile. A single act of betrayal, such as a marital affair, can instantly erase years of trustworthy behavior. The consequences of such breaches in confidence can be disastrous, and not only for a relationship. The study demonstrates how oxytocin can facilitate social interactions after trust has been violated, by potentially lowering defense mechanisms associated with social risks and by overcoming negative feedback that is important for adapting behavior in the future. Luckily, oxytocin in our body has the ability to inspire trust in and among people. This chemical is released whenever interaction happens between people. To study social interactions, economists and more recently neuroscientists take advantage of a simple experiment. Two participants play the so-called trust game. The first participant is faced with the decision to keep a sum of money or share it with the second participant, who has no obligation to give the money back. He would get more money if the second person returns it. In this game, the first person is left with an important social dilemma: to trust or not to trust. Although it is more profitable to trust, doing so leaves the investor at risk of betrayal. Trust is not something that naturally occurs when two people meet for the first time. It involves a process. One person has to show the quality of being trustworthy to the other person. This can be achieved by certain behaviors and communication. Therefore, trust is conditional. People should not take it for granted. Oxytocin does not only exist in human beings. Animals also have this gift, and it can be seen when they have cooperation with each other. Oxytocin in monkeys, for example, allow them to work together to find food and to fight against enemies. The Nash equilibrium's game theory: the first participant will make the best decision he can, with no expectations that the second participant would change his decision. The second participant will do the same. So, the outcome depends on the decision of the other person. This game is similar to the one we just talked about. The oxytocin level doesn't stay the same in a person's body. Studies have found that people who are under a lot of stress would have higher levels of oxytocin. Oxytocin causes a substantial increase in trust among humans, thereby greatly increasing the benefits from social interactions. It's also noted that the effect of oxytocin on trust is not due to a general increase in the readiness to bear risks. On the contrary, oxytocin specifically affects an individual's willingness to accept social risks arising through interpersonal interactions. To sum up, oxytocin is like a kind of social glue that is helpful in social bonding. Further research is needed to explore oxytocin and trust, and how this hormone can be used to strengthen our trust in others and even treat mental disorders that specifically relate to deficiencies in social behavior. Next, we're going to talk about That is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers.